I'm Laura McNamara at the DC Fly-In and Government Affairs Summit on Capitol Hill, and joining me now is Scott McPheeters. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself for us?
Sure. I farm with two sons near Gothenburg, Nebraska, and we also have interest in a farmer-owned ethanol plant where I'm on the board, and also then members of the American Coalition for Ethanol. So that's what we're here doing, is visiting members of Congress on Capitol Hill, telling them what they need to know and asking them what they need.
And what was part of the message of what they needed to know?
I think they're pretty frustrated that the E15 thing has been so long, and there's actually really nothing negative about it. It doesn't cost the government anything. It saves consumers money. It puts money in farmers' pockets, and so it's just all good news. But they have a small faction of small refiners that always want to overplay the issue and have cite antiquated rules, archaic really maybe is the better word. That there can't be E15 in the summer because it causes smog, and we all know that's not true. And the RVP waiver is just something that they hide behind, and so it's just been a political football for a long time. And we're kind of relating to the Peanuts gang, where Lucy holds the football, and as soon as Charlie Brown gets there to kick it, she pulls it out of the way, and that's kind of the way it's been with E15. But it is just amazing that it's gone on this long, and I think there's really getting to be a momentum. And partly it's just because of repetition and getting the information out there, but it's also it's hard because some of our lawmakers have gotten battle fatigue, you might call it, where they have said we've been at this so long, and we just need to move on, and we can't move on. E15 is just good for everything, good for the environment, good for farmers, good for energy security. It's just what we need.
Well, and not only that, but internationally it's becoming popular as well. So I don't think America really wants to be behind the rest of the world when it comes to adopting these renewable fuels.
There's been a big expansion of exports in the last year, and so there's a lot of countries that have been waking up to the fact that this improves it oxygenates the fuel so that it burns more completely and reduces tailpipe emissions. And the engines like it, everything likes it, and their pocketbooks, and so it's the cheapest octane molecule on the planet. And so even domestic energy needs to have us, and we need to have them. We can't have 100% ethanol. We'll have a big job to get E15 if it's fully adopted in the United States. We'll need to expand some plants, and it'll be a whole nother market, be a rejuvenation of our market. So as you mentioned, though, the exports, I've seen a lot of countries that have gone to E5 or E10, some to E15, and that haven't ever used ethanol, and they're big countries with a lot of demand. And so I kind of just think today that if the domestic refiners are not careful, this is my own thought, but we'll export so much ethanol that they won't have enough to what they need to do. So that'll be a challenge for them. It's just such good news, and I just want to help the lawmakers understand that. And there was a lot of optimism, actually. It was kind of surprising. There was one office that was kind of, I wouldn't call it, kind of reserved, cautiously optimistic, because there's been so many times we've been close to getting E15 year-round, and it just has taken a turn at the last moment for one reason or another.
Well, and you mentioned some of the reasons or justifications that it doesn't get through, that the lawmakers have said it doesn't get through. But I know you guys had a packet of information to try to help dispel some of those fears.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's all good information, and of course, that's what lobbying is about, is getting information into their hands. And sure, every lobbyist has or advocate has their side of the story, but I would just submit that our side of the story is the truth. And, sometimes there's things about not facts, but opinions that are, tired, old. We're going to bring this in again where there's, for instance, the food versus fuel argument is just totally unfounded. And, that cars don't like it is totally unfounded. And so it's safe for your cars. It's safe, and it brings more food into the world, not less, because we have a third of the bushel that comes back as high-protein livestock feed. they can't use that much starch anyway. So we refine the starch and make ethanol and ferment it, I guess you'd say. And so it just adds, and then there's about a pound per bushel of oil. So that goes for other kinds of, renewable diesel, some things like that. So it's such good news. It's all good news, and I'm happy to be part of it. Happy to be here, and once we get the facts to people, I always tell them, once you know the facts, you're going to be wearing these E15 now buttons.
And you say you're happy to be a part of it. Why is it important for you to come and be here?
Well, somebody has to do it, and this is probably maybe the 10th year I've been involved, not every consecutive year, but over the last 15 years, maybe been here 10 of those. And you see a different set of lawmakers each time, and you get a different flavor, but somebody just has to do this. And who better than the people who will obviously financially benefit, but also we're looking out for the planet. I know it sounds kind of trite, but it's just reduces tailpipe emissions by up to 40% with E15, so that's more good news. But I just feel like everybody says, gee, somebody should do that. And, I have the ability to, since my sons are there running the farm, I can do this, so I do.
Great. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I appreciate the media coverage of it, too, and your job to come take pictures and help tell the story. And it's the same with you in a lot of media. They just don't see the real facts until they come and cover it, or we can talk to them. So we're glad to have you here too. So.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm Laura McNamara in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill.